Hello and welcome. We're looking for $2 million homes around the country, and this time it is Virginia. So I'm so excited about Virginia. They had all kinds of great houses, and we're going to start right here. So this one goes back to this India Banks area, I guess, goes back to 1699 and 1728. So early colonial times. And the house has been remodeled, but the land, it's located, and these are kind of all over Virginia. Virginia just was so cool that it has so many places all over the state to go, and so this one is in Virginia, just south of DC, and did was also connected to some water, and the land was nice, and it was just interesting, just a house this old, you know, and so historic. It was just very cool that Virginia had a lot of those, a lot of historic homes. Now they had more. It was brick and not the stone like Pennsylvania, so that was interesting just to see the differences in the building styles. Um, those states that both go way back. Moving on. So this house was located also just south of DC, and it was just a beautiful Victorian, just inside and out, big, wonderful. I think it had, see, a lot of these had, like this had 46 acres. So there's so many homes in Virginia that had 100 or more acres for this price range. And they weren't just horse farms. There's just these wonderful rolling um, hills and mountains in Virginia. Virginia was really cool in the fact that it had some oceanfront property. It had a lot of like lakes and rivers, and then it also had great mountain views. This particular house, the inside was, I just love it. This is a great example. Normally wallpaper drives me nuts, but I like what they did with all of it. And it's a little galley-esque of a kitchen, but I know it was interesting the way they did the beams there. Those may be structural, and I like the way that they kept the tradition of the house, but just updated it ever so slightly throughout, and just did a really good job with everything. 1886, so it's just a good way to modernize a classical beauty. So moving on, maybe moving on. I don't know. So this house was located south and west, kind of mid Virginia, kind of more in the mountainous ranges, and that's just what is kind of stunning about this house. So it like there's your views right there. So just wonderful, and this is the view behind you. So it's just a get away from it all kind of place with these fabulous mountain views, and I mean, so that like there's your patio. It was just so cool. Um, Again, I was a little bit blown away by all the different things that Virginia had to offer. A little plane up there, which is kind of weird, but so your big kind of log cabin esque kind of inside. I kind of like the kitchen. The kitchen was the funky red, which I don't know. I liked it. Um, it was fun and different. They could have just kept doing the whole log cabin thing, but they just made it just ever so slightly different. So, just a good job with the interior. They even have like a downstairs area too in the basement. Um, so, just a great property. But again, it's just the stunning views were just so cool, just so cool. So great property on the mountain. I think this one had on 37 acres. So many of these had just wonderful property and amount of land. So it's so hard in all these states across the country to find a good combination of acres and a house or cool land. Some states will have it, but it'll be flat, boring land. Kansas, but so this one has 46 acres, and it just kind of reminded me of kind of a chateau in France. Next to a lake. Let me show you where this guy is. So this guy is down, kind of a little bit north of Roanoke. so and west of Richmond, so kind of in the heart of Virginia. But it had all this rolling land too, and great views of itself. This is so interesting. I'm sure in the fall, with the leaves changing, that'd be really stunning. And the let's see, I can't get a good view of the arches. It was interesting on the kitchen with the rock formations and everything. Definitely custom. But oh, I really like this. This is my favorite. Just this, all the windows, and then a hot tub, and you're not having to get up and in the hot tub, and it's just right there. And I can't imagine what the hot tub does to all the wood, but that's not my problem. So I really thought that was a great hot tub. And so yeah, I was just funky chairs. I don't know if I'd sit in those. Ugh. Probably crazy expensive chairs. But just a wonderful chateau. Moving on. So this one, I thought I have two in the Virginia Beach area, and so this is located down here in this area. And so you got a state park, and then you have beachfront over here. So it's not too far from any of that. An easy drive. And this itself, I think, though, the next one we have is a place that your family comes to visit. This one is the one that I think you'd live at, because it kind of has everything. I really like the pool with the view of the bay and the water. Was really nice and relaxing. And this also has a kind of a hot tub off to the side, and it has a dock for a boat and land around it. And seemed like a lot of the house is on one floor, which is cool, and has a hot tub, and just had a good landscape. And I think would be really nice to be close to the beach as well. Next up, this is the house of, it's not, so it's like a block over, so yeah, you have to walk a little bit, but you just walk down the street and you're on the beach. So it's not on the beach, but it's definitely walkable. But it's got 12 bedrooms and 10 bedrooms, 10 baths, 6,000 square feet. A lot of, I like some of the tiling, like a huge table for everyone. So this is made to just have all your family come visit, and everybody get together, and walk around, enjoy the beach. And you can even, the full Virginia Beach is just up. Let's see. So this beach you have walking access to, but up here, if you want to go to the full boardwalk and everything, it's just up there. So just a short drive away. So the house itself is just kind of plain. It's your beachfront, but they have this little itty bitty indoor pool, which was almost, why don't you just make a big hot tub? But it, you do have an indoor pool, so if it was raining or something, or way too hot in the heat of the day, you can just come in here or relax at night, or whatever. So it's still nice to have this option. Or if you had little kids, this would be kind of a fun little kid pool if you're worried about riptides or whatever. So that was also a nice touch to the whole thing. And so this one was located just northwest of Richmond, and so it's not too far away from Richmond or DC, but it was on from 1732, so just a historic house on 40 acres. And it's just so nice that you just have this privacy of all this land, and the peaceful, being able to walk your grounds and everything, and just not have people bug you. And it has a pool, and this one was really cool. It had all these other like little places to stay, like little cottages around. So this really could be a family compound, and or so many like little playhouses kind of areas. But so this could be, a different kind of place for your family together, and but not be right on top of each other, but still be able to come together. And one of these has its own little hot tub room. But so I really like this property quite a bit. So it was pretty cool. This I'm just throwing in because it was just really neat. So this was in the heart of Richmond. What did we see? So right next to Virginia Commonwealth University, and like, you know, so you'd have just within walking of a bunch of restaurants and stuff, and the University of Virginia, and it just was just a very elegant, stately home. And you know, it doesn't quite have all the property and land, but you know, for city living, and you'd definitely be comfortable in here. And it had an elevator to get up and down. But you know, just a lot of the ornate decoration throughout the house. So it was very cool. And so if you were go to city living, this was definitely a fancy option, and really close to everything in Richmond. So it's just so hard for me that I'd rather go for all the land of some of the other options. But you know, if you're going to be in a city, this is the way to do it for sure. So this one is another option that was also so this was in Arlington, Virginia, and it was so it's here, and then there's like a little path down to this trails that kind of goes along a 4-mile run, and then there's a metro stop. So you're also near a bunch of things, and just like a 17-minute drive or half an hour train into DC. So that's a cool and fun. And this house itself, it was which for being in a city built in 1904, which that's one of the younger houses on this list. It's just you know, about 3/4 of an acre, but it just felt like more when you look at the landscape of things. It just, don't have neighbors right on top of you, so you get this city living, and yet you get that privacy where you can go out and just not feel like you're in a city so much. But this not as much, but still the inside of this was ornate. And well, I say ornate, but then they took the time to update some stuff. So so the kitchen was updated with the island, and there's plenty of cabinets, all kinds of cabinets. And some people may not like the white, but I liked it. I like this tile better than later on. They kind of went to a straight up checkerboard pattern, but I don't know. I think maybe I'd like this better in person, but you could tell this was would be a fun entertainment space right here, with everything just right off the kitchen. So yeah, I mean, this whole area right here would be a great area for a party. I think they have enough fans. Are those Hunter fans? They're kind of looking like Hunter fans. Those are like made out of, if it's like the model we had, are cast iron, and they weigh 40 pounds each. So hope it's reinforced. So but this, I just liked the way they remodeled it, and yet kept some elegant touches to it. It kind of could have used a pool or something, but that's okay. And so my number one was this guy. So this property is located just south of Washington, and so actually you can just cross the bridge and go up to DC in kind of almost a back way, and you can get up there in an hour. So you can kind of avoid some of the traffic. So that was pretty cool. And it is on 130 acres. And it was originally built in 1796. And it's undergone additions. And there's also a separate 1,500 square foot guest house. So 7 additional barn structures. And so it's got historical value. It's got all kinds of land. It's right by the Potomac. I really liked, and it said it had horse trails built on this. So if you have a horse, you could, go horseback riding just on your own property. But I'm thinking you could change them into mountain bike trails or hiking trails, and that'd be kind of nice. It's just within your own property. You could just go hiking. So, and it was just interesting land, and with all these extra buildings, it would be a grand property. But it's got open land, but not too much open land. So all you're doing is mowing all the time. And it had this pool, which it looks kind of organic. It just kind of goes straight into the grass. It was kind of weird the way they did it, but I like it. So, and it was just a fun property. The house itself is, you look at it and that doesn't look too fancy, but this was built in the 1700s. So the inside is kind of compartmentalized, so you're not having your open concept like you do now. But they did remodel the kitchen, and it has been in like local magazines and stuff. But I like it. They call it like a 2-zone kitchen, so I'm not sure what that means. But I like it. I think it's different, and they did a good job with it. The touches of color are strong, and I'm sure they opened up this area because it just seems like they did kind of make sure that this part. Oh, I love those red. I like the red chairs. So I like the way it opens up into the sunroom. So overall, that was the house. So like I said, Virginia, just great state. I've only spent a little bit of time in Arlington, and but I really enjoyed it. This was one of my favorites so far. So I hope you have a good day or night. Take care.